Hi everyone, today I'm gonna show you and explain to you why you don't have to go and study with big and famous harpists, and I tell you my story, which is quite illuminating. Since the age of 14, I just couldn't wait to practice harp full time and to go to a music university, a conservatory. But here in Switzerland, you have to do other schools before in order to get diploma, which allows you to go in the conservatory. So I was 18 years old when finally I could enter a conservatory. And then the question was, where do I go? You should go to a good harpist. So a great, fantastic harpist, a great performer, and a great musician. So after a lot of research in different European cities, I decided to go to Zurich Conservatory, which is a fantastic music school, and it's still in Switzerland, which is my country. So I was not so far away from home, only 3 hours and a half. So it was doable for me. And there was such a fantastic harpist there. I started happily there, and the teacher was very nice to me. And after a while though, I noticed that she would come every 3 weeks to give me a lesson of 1 hour and a half to say crescendo, diminuendo, souple. Then off she goes for another 3 weeks, giving concerts, giving recitals, giving master classes, because she was a great harpist. It was great to have the standard of studying with this great harpist who wouldn't accept everybody, so that meant I was good. But actually, what they don't tell you, conservatory really needs you. They want you, so they'll do anything possible to have you in their classes, right? So even these great harpists, they really want you. So never forget that. They need you. You also need them, but they need you more than you need them. Well, I started to realize that it was very little, this 1 hour and a half lesson every 3 weeks. But I was going forward fast because this teacher wanted me to practice a new piece every time she would come. So I'm a fast learner, so it was no problem for me to learn. But then the problem is I realized after 6 months, I didn't have anything of what I've been practicing 6 months earlier. So all my pieces were like very good speed, a tempo for like maybe 3 weeks, and then they were just gone forever. So I realized, this is not going so well with the harp, but the school was amazing. The conservatory in Zurich is fantastic. I was doing orchestra conducting, I was doing singing lessons, harmony, and Gehörbildung, which is the training of the ear, and I loved all these lessons. So it didn't really occur to me that my main problem was the harp. The harp was not going so well, but I realized it only when the school decided eventually that 1 hour and a half lesson every 2 weeks was not so much. So they gave us a substitute teacher. And this substitute teacher was Miss Nobody. Nobody knew her name. This 1 hour and a half became 4 hours lesson. And I really remember the first time I had her. I came back then to my family for the weekend, and I said, I had a new teacher today. And he said, oh really, and how was it? And I said, she even changed my way of sitting after, 10 years of playing harp. Come on. So I was not happy with this Miss Nobody. But then what happened is that a friend of mine who was there studying with a great harpist, she had problem with this great harpist, so she asked the school to go to this Miss Nobody permanently, and the school allowed that to happen. And what happened? That this girl, in 3 months, she did such a progress that I was astonished. Technique, sound, speed in such a short time. And I was like, wow, you progress so much in 3 months, and I didn't progress so much in 1 year and a half. I went to talk to them and I said, I want this progress as well. So I want to go to this Miss Nobody to study the harp. And they said, okay. And then she was absolutely mad. She was so angry at me. She screamed and she said all sorts of insults in the corridor of the school. And then she went to a room because I was trying to say something. And the last words I remember of this great harpist is like, "Mais tais-toi," which means, "but shut up." And then she banged the door and I've never seen her since. So that's not a nice way to end up a 2 years relationship. But after the first shock, I have to say that Miss Nobody made me progress like crazy. And I'm not going to tell you the name of this great harpist, who was actually a fantastic harpist, but a terrible pedagogue. Really, really terrible pedagogue. Because she's an old lady and I respect old ladies. I don't want to put her into bad credit. But I will tell you the name of this Miss Nobody because she was such an influence in my state of mind, in my harp technique. With the years, she became more of a mentor. And I'll be forever grateful to this person who now is a big name, and all the big harpists of the next generation will come out of her school because she's such a fantastic teacher. And the name of this teacher is Irina Zing, and she teaches now in Milan, a private conservatory. You can check her out. I just want to mention that a great harpist doesn't necessarily mean that she or he is a great pedagogue as well, especially because if you are a fantastic musician, you always go on tour, you're always called everywhere, so you actually don't have time to dedicate to your students. The problem is that still great harpists and fantastic soloists, they also have to teach. So my advice is check your rights, check how many hours of lessons you have to have, because you pay for these lessons, frequency of lesson, because you need consistency. When you're only 18, you have to build up everything, your technique, your musicality, your phrasing, orchestra. You have to do so many experiences, and the harp teacher has to be there. It has to be there day and night. Well, maybe not night. There is a teacher who brings into his bed all his students. No, we don't want that. But still, you know what I mean. Needs to be there for you, needs to be helping you. So check all these things before looking for a teacher. And don't be afraid to be going to a Miss or Mr. Nobody, because with you, this person has got a lot to invest in you, and especially because it doesn't have yet a big name, it will help you a lot. You'll be his or hers investment, and they'll be willing to share with you more information, to help you more, to guide you more, because you are the presentation card for them. Irina Zing, she told me a phrase that I'll never forget. Do you want to go to study with a big star, or do you want someone who makes you a star? Well, I'm not a star, but definitely this person gave me so much and still does in terms of an advice or any kind of help. She helped my career when I was into a musical crisis, I would call her, and she would help me analyzing what the problem was. So really don't be afraid to go to a person that you feel good with and you really know that can help. And don't just go and be attracted by a big name like I did. So I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in my next video. Another scandalous one. Bye! See you soon. Ciao, ciao! Thank you for subscribing and like.